Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, the Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post, Bechukosai and the War in Israel, is going to discuss the psychological components of being a rabbinic leader. What does it mean to be a rabbinic leader? What are the requirements and the demands? Is it perhaps focusing purely on their Torah knowledge, their proficiency in giving psak, in their knowledge of halacha? Or are there different requirements? Is there perhaps a greater complexity? Perhaps there are other demands of what it means to be a rabbinic leader. And we're going to look at that in terms of that there are also psychological demands, a certain psychological sensitivity that is required to be a rabbinic leader. And we see this from this week's parsha, that the Torah, that the pasuk says that if the Bnei Yisrael keep the mitzvahs, then the rain will fall. There'll be rainfall at the right time. And that rain we see is not just a natural phenomenon, but actually it's also tied into the level of the observance of mitzvahs, how successful the Bnei Yisrael are at being committed in keeping the mitzvahs in the required way. However, the Gemara in Tanya says that if the rain does not fall by a certain time, it actually says by the 17th of Cheshvan, then there will be certain individuals that will fast in order to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the rain will fall. And the Gemara says, who are these individuals? Who are these people? And one opinion in the Gemara is that it's whoever would be given the position of a communal Rav, whoever has the respect or the knowledge, or whatever these requirements are, that they would be deemed fit to be a communal leader, to be a rabbinic leader. They would be the ones that would take on the weight and the responsibility of davening, on fasting, and being a representative for the whole people. And in a sense, this is in a way, it's representing this role of a communal leader. And it's not just, you could say, a Torah knowledge and a certain respect because of their ability to give pasak, but this indication here from the Gemara is that they take on the needs and the struggles and the difficulties and the hardships of the community. They are there they represent the community, and they're also there to help them to hold that load. And there's a required, you could say, a psychological sensitivity and understanding to be able to take on that role, to be able to take on that position, and to successfully be able to fast and daven to Kodesh Baruch Hu on behalf of the community. So what the Gemara is presenting is actually a dynamic here, that a communal Rav is someone that is able to take on the difficulties and the hardships. And if we look at the research in terms of, in particular, the religious communities, Haredi communities, there's something which almost comes up in every research, in particular, which is looking at certain areas which is taboo topics. There's certain stigma around, perhaps you could say, mental health, around sexuality, around abuse. These topics within the Haredi community are very difficult for people to talk about. They feel there's a certain avoidance, you could say, of these topics, and also perhaps a hesitancy, or there's a concern about seeking help, either because they don't know about the services or they don't know how to discuss these topics. And there's a tendency to try and keep it within the community, within the enclave. As the research says, there's certain enclave within the Haredi communities that they don't want to take it outside of the community, and perhaps even to take it outside of their own family, because they're worried about what other people will think within their community. So this creates a very significant problem of how do people within the Haredi community, within certain, in particular, Hasidic communities, how do they get the required help? How do they talk about things that they are struggling with? And that's where the communal Rav comes in. The research, time and time again, shows that the communal Rav has a central role in being the go-to for people in communities, in religious communities, in Haredi communities. And therefore, this is a very difficult and complex issue, that it places the communal Rav in a situation where they are the first line, perhaps the first line point of reference for these type of topics in mental health, in abuse and sexuality. And this perhaps places the Rav in a position where he needs to have a level of knowledge, a working knowledge, a sensitivity and understanding, and being able to grapple and navigate these issues. And it shouldn't be taken for granted that just because they are a Rav and they have Torah knowledge, that they are also able to deal with these issues. Certainly their role is very important as a communal Rav, and it's actually very beneficial in these situations to try to reduce the stigma to try to work on the taboo, to be able to help people to get the support that they need. This role that the communal Rav has, if they have the necessary psychological sensitivity, can be the ones, as the Gemara says, can be these yichidim, these individuals to help when it's necessary. And this can be to be able to give guidance and support, but more importantly as well is to know how to notice the warning signs, the red flags, how to be able to refer to the necessary people, to help people to get professional guidance and therapy when necessary as well. And that they can be, as the research says, tries to see the communal Rav as a bridge, someone who can bridge and be the person that can help help people who are struggling receive the required support. So this is giving a great understanding, and I think we can see in Israel there are programs, there's at least one program that's been started that tries to help people that have smicha and to teach them as well about mental health and about mental health struggles as a position of a communal Rav. In America, in Yeshiva University, there's Pastoral psychology, which is taught to the students who are learning in the smicha program to try to engage them actively in this role and their position of sensitivity for their community beyond just learning and the Torah knowledge that they have. So I wish you a good Shabbos and keep well.